What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central. Today, we'll be talking about Alex Caruso and Tyler Cook possibly both being available in tonight's game against the Cavs. The ESPN also flexes the Bulls game against the Bucks on the ESPN. I know that's caused some anxiety for Bulls fans that think we haven't done good on national TV so far this year. We'll also be talking about the upcoming trade deadline and more right after this. All right, Bulls fans. So, Alex Caruso is probable for tonight. That's the first thing I want to talk about is the players either coming back or still being out injured today. Alex Caruso is probable to play tonight. I think he's going to play. I know a lot of Bulls fans are waiting for him. And then I know with a lot of NBA players as well, you have to get some type of in-game competition back before they want to throw, especially with the game like that's coming up against the Bucks. So we'll see what happens with Alex Caruso there. But more than likely, he'll be able to play tonight. I know a lot of Bulls fans are really excited to have AC Fresh back in the building. And overall, just like what that means to the Bulls, right? What his determination, his defense, his leadership out there, especially, with Zach being gone and everything, his versatility. Having Alex Caruso back is going to be very, very important for the Chicago Bulls team as they continue to be depleted almost everywhere else on the roster. So having and starting to get our guys back healthy is key. Don't know how many minutes, if he's going to be on a minutes restriction or anything like that. Typically, we've seen like players brought back slowly when they come back from injury. So, I don't know if we should expect Alex Caruso to come back and get his normal 26 plus minute load or whatever like that. But it's still possible, right? But at the end of the day, it's just good to get him out there to get that leadership because the Bulls will surely do miss it and they need it. And we know what Alex Caruso means to this team. And I think at this point we all know or have realized that Alex Caruso may be more important to this team than what we initially thought. Yeah, everyone looked at him as being a six man and things like that. But when you really look at especially the versatility he adds on the bench, right? Especially coming in the bench and having players like Io not really having to do a lot of the ball distribution, and definitely Kobe, and having a player like Alex Caruso out there with him, and a player that can also be inserted in just about any starting lineup as well. He started at power forward for us in a few games. Alex Caruso is like a Swiss Army knife, just like I say Lonzo is. And Alex Caruso's heart and his determination is going to be very, very important for a team that is really trying to get back on track. And Alex Caruso bringing that energy back into this Bulls team may hopefully, give this team a shot in the arm that they surely do need at this point in the season. And so it's exciting to have Alex Caruso back. Tyler Cook, who also played a game with the Windy City Bulls last night, says that he expects to get some minutes tonight. And so what we're going to start seeing, right, and maybe not right away because he is coming back from injury, but one of the things we do and can start expecting is we'll really see what this coaching staff feels about the whole Tyler Cook versus Tony Bradley debate very, very shortly, right? It may not be right away as Tyler Cook comes back. He still has a lot to prove. And I know he's only on a two-way contract, and at some point he can only play some amount of games before that, or the Bulls have to convert him to a guaranteed contract, I think. Don't kill me if I'm wrong on that one. But with that being said, that the whole Tyler Cook versus Tony Bradley debate, the proof is going to be in the pudding soon enough about what this like I said, this staff feels about Tyler Cook. In the games that he played before his injury, he was really coming along nicely for us. And Tony Bradley, again, I know he's not the defensive player Tony Bradley is, but overall, looking at the net positive, I really do think Tyler Cook gives us a better chance and a better energy off the bench than Tony Bradley does. The thing that I've always said about Tony Bradley, the problem isn't necessarily that it's Tony Bradley himself. He does have a lot of issues as a player, right? But he's thrust into a position where he's your second big man when he really should be more like the third. So with that being said, it's good to have Tyler Cook back. It's good to have players back healthy, but I just can't wait to see what this coaching staff feels about Tyler Cook and what they feel about his potential to be on this team long term, and if they think that he should deserve those minutes that are going to Tony Bradley. Let me know down below what you guys think right now is where you stand as far as the Tyler Cook Tony Bradley debate. But with all that being said, let's move on. Lonzo is still out with a bone bruise in his left knee. We still have Levine, Green, and Derrick Jones Jr. out as well. Of course, Patrick Williams too. So the Bulls, even though they're getting two players back, we still have quite a bit of players out. And at the end of the day, like we've been talking about, like I've been talking about, I should say, it's really about the effort that this team plays with. We, of course, need to see better games from Vooch. We need to see better games from DeMar DeRozan throughout the game, right? Especially when you don't have a player like Zach LaVine out there. But I think what we're seeing and what I've said before is that the construction of a roster is important, and the roles that you need players to play are important. But continue to see that heart, that execution. We want to see better execution and just focus from this team, right? Just focus from this team, especially when you're facing a Cavs team that is not a team to be overlooked. I think right now they sit at like 4th or 5th. I may be giving them too high, but I know they're pretty high up there on the standings right now. They're second in the Central Division, so we definitely want to be looking out for them. We'll talk more about that game towards the end of the video as well. Next topic: the ESPN has flexed the Bulls versus Bucks game that will now be televised on ESPN. So for those who have been getting PTSD from seeing the Bulls play on nationally televised games and how they've played, it comes right back around. Now, could this be a chance for redemption against the Bucks? We don't know where their full lineup is going to be. We don't know if LaVine is going to be back. The Lonzo thing, he could very well be back. They haven't really put a timetable on Lonzo either. So we don't know. We don't know. They could very well be waiting for them to come back that game. But I think, I know, like I've said before, the Bulls is more about getting players back healthy for the actual stretch, not these individualized games and things like that. They want to have a healthy team at the end of the season, and they will forego and make it more difficult in some of these games during the regular season that don't mean as much to make sure that we have everyone back healthy by the playoffs. But with that being said, ESPN, the time hasn't changed, still at 7 p.m., Bulls versus Bucks. That's all I can say, man. It's all I can say. It's already was going to be a difficult game. It being on ESPN, and sometimes as fans, I think we put more on the nationally televised thing, especially me, than maybe what the players do. Every game is every game to them. But at the end of the day, when you have a game that's televised nationally, a game that for casual fans, they only get to see teams and players very often, only so often as they're on TV. Something like this can be very, very important, like I said, for all-star voting, things like that, even though we're starting to wind down on all-star voting. But that's what I wanted to point out on that. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have PTSD about the Bulls playing on national TV like a lot of Bulls fans? Next topic today, 22 days until the NBA trade deadline. And I've said before, I cannot wait till this trade deadline passes, strictly for the fact I'm tired of your crazy-ass trades. I'm tired of talking about what moves the Bulls are going to make. I'm tired of all of that. I'm just ready because at the end of the day, once the trade deadline passes, yeah, players can be bought out after the trade deadline, but we'll pretty much know what this roster is going to be like for the rest of this season. And we can just stop fucking talking about it. And we can wait till the offseason to have all these trade ideas and everything like this, because some of y'all trade ideas, I'm letting you guys know right now, right? And this isn't to be disrespectful or anything like that. If you send me a screenshot of something in the trade machine, I'm already off of it. I'm not responding. I'm tired of my inbox being filled and my DMs being filled with trade machine screenshots. Tired of it. I can't wait till this trade deadline passes. I can't wait for it. We will have a trade deadline special, though, on February 10th. It'll start an hour before the trade deadline, and it'll end an hour after the trade deadline. So we can talk, we can speculate. We can also break down any trades that happen in the NBA, not just for the Chicago Bulls. So we'll really be talking about that. I can't wait to have that, because that's like really one of the very few. This channel is clearly Bulls focused, right? It's Chicago Bulls Central. And with that being said, I love talking NBA in general. So I can't wait to do something, because we don't do a lot of just generalized NBA things here. So being able to just talk about the NBA and just chill with my family, which you guys are now on that trade deadline, I can't wait to talk about and go into that. So the Bulls have the Cavs tonight. As we know, we don't match up well against the Cavs. We didn't when we were fully healthy. What may make this more interesting is the insertion of Tyler Cook, right, and Malcolm Hill, to see what how Billy Donovan plays them, considering now we have Tony Bradley and Tyler Cook and Nikola Vucevic all healthy at the same time. What he does with them against a big lineup like the Cleveland Cavaliers. What happens there? This is the game for the Tony Bradley fans that we need to see the good defensive version of Tony Bradley, right? We need to see execution on offense and defense as always, but this Cavs team is looking for blood, right? Especially Larry Marketing being on that team. I believe he's playing. I don't think he's out tonight. But this is not going to be an easy game for the Bulls. And anyone who's thinking that just because it's the Cleveland Cavaliers, if you've been watching them play this season, this team plays tough, right? And so Rajon Rondo's out, Lamar Stevens is out, Ricky Rubio's out, and of course Colin Sexton is out. So everyone else on the Cavs is healthy. And that lineup, their lineup, gives us fits. And it's going to be one of those games where if the Bulls aren't locked in, this game can get away from us very, very quickly. I think this is going to be more akin to like the Boston game, at least I hope, where the Bulls have more than enough to stay in it if they execute and play well on the defensive end. But again, does that big man lineup, does that rotation end up getting to the Bulls down the stretch? Are the Bulls going to make the right plays down the stretch to be able to be in and win this game? All those things remain to be seen tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I look for this team. I keep looking for them to have a bounce back. But again, listen, a 5-game losing stretch, I don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So let's hope the Bulls can get back in the winning column tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to need big games from Ayo. We're going to need big games from Kobe. But the person that I'm really looking at for tonight, and I don't care about the matchups, I don't care about the defense and what they do, Nikola Vucevic needs to have a good game tonight. He needs to have a good game tonight. Him and DeMar both have to have good games, especially when most of our rosters out. They are the players that we look to have big games and be the steady hands, right? And I don't mean by that Nikola needs to have a 28-16 game or anything like that. Yes, that would be nice, but I need to see Nikola Vucevic play solid, not be timid, things like that. Again, I talked in the video yesterday about how Nikola Vucevic is in the top 10, top 10 basically, or top 15 in shooting percentage stats, but top 10 in every major statistical category for NBA centers. He ranks in the top 10. We need to see that version of Nikola Vucevic tonight. And DeMar DeRozan, we need the king of the fourth. We need him to be consistent throughout the game. If we have steady performances like we've gotten out of Ayo, like we've gotten out of Kobe White, the Bulls can very much be in this game. This isn't a game that we need to just go into expecting a loss or anything like that, but the Bulls have to execute. I want to know down below, hey, I got a few questions on this game. Who do you think, if Alex Caruso is available, do you think he starts, or do you think the Bulls keep going with the starting combination of Ayo and Kobe White and allow Alex Caruso to come off the bench? What do you think Ayo and Kobe's contributions are going to be in this game? Do you think Ayo can have another double-double tonight? I think he can as well. Let me know all your thoughts about this game coming up tonight down below. But that's it for me today, people. Make sure you're following the podcast at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave us a text or voicemail, you can do so at 773-270-2799. Like I like to end every video on and every episode on, go Bulls. I love you guys. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.